Yes, yes. The boys are back. -1. Guess who's gone again? After he took a shot at you for all your vacation.
Oh yeah. He I'm listen, man, I work around the clock. I don't
You
fuck
do.
around.
It's very true. It's me and Brendo. This Irish Billy, this Irish lush is
I don't know what
out
he's
of
doing.
commission. Who knows what he's up
So it
to?
was a last minute call in too.
It
He
was.
called out sick last minute.
He did.
So
Yes, yes. You're listening to Knock 'em Out the Box episode. Is this 133?
134.
You're listening to Knock 'em Out the Box, episode 134.
134.
My name is
Hands up.
Vinny Paz. I'm here with my co-host, with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic Left Right Kid, Mr. Brendan Long. What's
Yo,
the
yo,
word,
yo.
my guy?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Another real slow one. But
It's look, there's stuff going on, but it's not what's the
it's
polite way to
fucking
say it? You're
slow.
trying
There's nothing else you can say. It's fucking slow.
Hey, there's two tree fights this weekend.
But
That's not necessarily slow. It's
I know,
just
but
they're not hotsy totsy
NBA
featherweights.
playoffs are in full effect.
They are. They are.
Baseball starts to get hot now.
It does. It
Um,
does. It
if
does.
anybody
People.
watch, does anybody watch baseball anymore? I mean, I gotta say, this last interleague Mets Yankees thing was quite popular.
It was very popular. From what
People
I can
are
tell, the only league that is thriving in terms of thriving as it once was,
right.
when we were kids, is the NFL. So when you say does anyone watch it, it's
It's a
like
le it's
everybody.
such a less is more thing with the NFL because you know what I mean. It's
Absolutely.
one. It's only once a week.
Yep.
Your team plays once a week.
They have buys, which
You're
means
right.
you might not see a team for 2 weeks.
Right.
They moved it up to 17 games because they're whores, for the
Horse.
extra ad
Horse.
money. But like you said,
Hillets.
it's less is more. You got 82 games in hoops, which when you're a kid means nothing. You can watch every game and then you got
Yeah.
school the next day or watch every game, then go
Well,
out.
then they
I
expanded the
still love
playoffs
hoops.
in basketball. Yeah, a lot of my friends still like hoops. I'm not faking the funk. I'm happy for the Knicks, but to not be a fan for 20 years or basically turn it off for 20 years because for me, it's difficult to watch a basketball game
I'm
now.
a big fan of you standing on business and not going back to the Knicks.
Yeah,
And I was like, my guy, come on.
no, I mean, I'm a Knicks fan at heart. Who do I want to win? I want the Knicks to win, of
Of
course.
course. No, I
But
get it.
am I going to sit here and be like, "Yo, I'm a fucking Knicks fan," and I'm aware of the Knicks. I like the Knicks. I have Knicks memorabilia,
Yeah.
um, but I haven't watched the Knicks and and supported the Knicks really since 1999. So 25, 26 years
So
of
unless your coach is being strangled by Spreewell, unless you're very
yeah.
violent. That's why.
I am attracted to violence. No,
You are.
if you don't, I think we have a lot of New York fans,
We
but
do.
I uh I have an issue with the ownership, as most New York fans do. And there was statements made and things done where they said that they didn't care about. It didn't matter if the Knicks won, we still we still sell out.
Yeah, we still put asses in seats here. It's
Right.
the garden. It's the place to be. You want to be seen here. I
How are
mean,
you
look,
supposed to root for a team like that?
I'm a season ticket holder. With the Sixers.
Yeah.
Everyone knows if you're a hoops fan knows what happened to us this year. But that said, I'm going to sound like one of those dopes that you and I don't like in boxing, where they go, it's different than it used to be, and blah, blah,
Mm.
blah. But I will say that run and gun launch three style of play is not what we grew up on. If you
No.
go near the paint, tic tac fouls, LeBron flopping, you can't write in and tell me like, yo, you're bugging. Like, no,
Yeah.
it factually has changed. The data supports it. You you had maybe you had one gun sniper 3-point shooter back in the day.
Yeah, you had a
Maybe.
Dale Ellis, a Reggie Miller.
Yeah, yeah,
You had a guy.
yeah. Maybe you had a Steve Kerr.
Right.
Reggie was a star. Steve Kerr wasn't a, you know what I mean? Maybe you had a
Right.
Kyle Korver type guy.
Right.
Maybe. and you go,
Yeah, I think Dale Ellis is a good
big shot Bob, you kick
yeah.
out. You know what I mean? Big shot Bob would average like
Well,
6 and 4 during
I
the year
yeah,
and
and
hit five threes in every big
right,
game.
right.
You know what I mean?
And then just lucked out by getting traded to like championship
Three,
teams
three,
after.
te- yeah,
Yeah,
three. He was on the Houston team that won too,
right.
wasn't he?
Lakers.
The
Yes.
Lakers that won. He won like three there, and then
Hmm.
he was with Duncan and got two
Yeah.
there. I think at
Hey,
least
Spurs,
one.
San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got at
So
least five, or at
I,
least 4 or 5.
this is years back, 2008, 2007, 2007,
Hmm.
at a friend's 30th birthday party, and I'm talking
Hmm.
his family. They're a basketball family, all coaches,
Got you.
all guys played in
Got you.
college.
Got you.
This is my best man at my wedding. This is his family.
Okay.
So
Got you.
I said they hit one of his uncles who's now since passed away, and rest in peace, Coach Mike Schmitz. Um, I said,
Mike Schmidt.
I said,
Oh,
Mike Schmitz.
all
So
right. I mean, that's
I said, Coach, what? Let's call him Coach since we're
yeah,
kids. I
yeah.
said, what's with all the fucking threes, blah blah. He says, look, man. I said, and and I'm like 27 at the time, like, these guys don't box out, don't do this. He goes,
Right.
yeah, well, you don't box out because the ball bounces too far out because everyone shoots threes. He says, well, why does everyone shoot threes? And then we'll get into boxing, guys. Enough hoops talk. But I said, he says, well, if you foul a guy when you're shooting a three, you get 3 shots, basically 3 points. Three is greater than two. These guys shoot 40% from three now, everybody. And he phrased it like this. He goes, it's the Duke effect. And basically, Coach K found success at the NCAA level with the Trajan Langdons of the world, with JJ Redick's of the world, right? These sort of slashers, that would come out, pop out, hit the three. These guys were so fast and athletic off the
Yep.
baseline coming out
Yep.
that it changed the pro game too.
Yep.
So even like the women can shoot from like, remember like when they moved the 3 point line
Yep.
in the early 90s and the defenses rotated out too fast,
Of
and they
course.
moved it back out and
Of
these guys
course.
just adapted. So
Of
now
course.
like you said, the players get better, they adapt, and
Well, the
now
Duke effect had a huge effect on those West Coast teams of
yep.
a prime Dirk and a prime Steve Nash.
That was the other
The
thing too. He
Phoenix and the
said,
Dallas teams who just run and
gun.
no defense playing motherfuckers. They'd always finish if they'd finish first.
Yeah.
They'd always
And then
get
lose
knocked
in the
out in the
playoffs.
second round.
Yeah. Because they
They'd
get
win
beat
the
up.
first round, but get knocked out because it
Right.
turns into half court ball. But now
Right.
that part's dead.
That part's dead.
He's rolling in his grave, your friend's
Well,
father.
yeah, Steph Curry just throws it up from and he hits though.
Yes, he hits like almost half court shots.
It's amazing. And
It is.
I've seen and again, that style will then influence younger guys, and
Of
younger guys
course.
say, all right, I'm not going to work on a 15-footer.
No.
I'm going to do
There is no mid-range jumper,
no,
bro. There is
no,
no
it's
Jamal
25, it's
Mashburn.
25 foot, no foul line extended, nothing.
No, there's no
So
Jamal
anyway,
Mashburn little
the
jumper
game
anymore.
lost me a little bit with that
I
because
have no problem with
I
that.
wasn't a big Duke fan, and I that style annoyed me in the mid to late 90s. I would root for Carolina over Duke in that rivalry.
I would
Uh,
root against both of them and just root for the Fab Five. And then
yeah,
after that, it was who has goons or who has hip hop
right.
heads.
Are you a big college ball fan?
I am. But
Yeah.
bro, it's we talk about this on the air, and I know a lot of our listeners understand it. It's like you said it about the NFL and why it thrives. It's like
Less is
less
more.
is more. Yeah, of course there's less game. You have 20
Yeah.
some games in NBA. I mean NCAA hoops and then March Madness. It's amazing. I'll never kick that. It's like
Right.
an addiction.
It's cool.
But it's like you said, less is more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and you're seeing kids who are going to play, but before we
And,
get
and
into
listen, I'm not knocking the talent of these guys.
no, neither am I. It's
There,
just
it's not aesthetically pleasing to me.
it's close to being a completely different sport than what we watch.
Right.
It's close. It's
Right.
close. It's like when people say, "Oh, well, it's cricket is just a different form of baseball." It's like that. It's like that
Yeah.
close and that different now with
Yeah. It's
stylistically. If you put someone from the 80s and early 90s in a time machine up until now and put a game on, their head would explode. But
right. Like,
not complain, not
yeah.
necessarily.
Right. He's just gonna pull up and shoot it. Holy
What
shit.
is this? Holy shit.
Right.
No
It's
one D's up. Who is this guy named LeBron? And why, when you touch him with a finger, no puff,
right.
does he get the call?
The
It's like between flopping and launching threes and no one D'ing up. These no defense playing motherfuckers. It's like
it's
it's
weird.
just different.
It's like have you ever watched the highlights from the 70s?
Yeah, of course,
There's
bro.
no
Of course.
defense.
No.
Like, do you think that George Gervin would be successful in any other era? You can't finger roll from like from the foul line.
Yeah,
He would have
George
gotten
Gervin will probably have to come back in 2025 to be
I was
successful
just gonna
now because he'd get
say
calls.
he's
Yeah.
get calls, but I remember watching like highlights in the in the 90s or whatever. They would show like, oh, this guy was amazing, and I'm like, Oakley would punch this guy right in the mouth.
Yeah, he would just kick him in the dime.
Hey, if you did that to him, if you insulted him with a finger roll like that,
Yeah, yeah.
the next play down,
Next
he'd be like,
possession, he's
yeah, all right.
elbowing you in the nose.
It's like older baseball. Like the everybody bat flips now.
Yeah.
If
You were
you
getting
were
your head
getting
thrown at next at
at
bat
next at bat, if not, or they're gonna grab the bat and chase you
and
around with
chase you around.
it. That is also real quick before we get started. A wild, the unspoken rules of baseball,
Oh,
where
they're insane, and it's
like,
why it's
oh,
America's.
you crossed the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
Now I have to kill you.
Now I have to fucking throw at your head or your
Remember, I
ding
think
dong.
A-Rod did that. I forgot the name of the pitcher. It was like a no-name pitcher. A-Rod's at the height of his
Oh,
stardom.
yeah,
He runs
sure.
across thing, and the guy flips out and
Was
goes
he in New
after.
York yet or still in
No,
Seattle?
no, he was in New York, yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah, yeah.
the guy in the A's, like the small market team, against the Yankees, and
Yeah.
guy starts screaming into the dugout like, "You fucking motherfucker!" And
Yeah, man.
A-Rod's like, "What?" And like the broadcast team's like, "He crossed the pitcher's mound.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
mean, bro, there's lots of weird unspoken shit in boxing that we don't discuss because it's so implied
yeah,
that we don't bring it to the show. But you
yeah,
think
yeah."
of other sports that we don't do.
Well, I mean, boxing is a one-on-one, and you do get to settle it, right?
No, 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 no. True,
Ba
true.
baseball, sometimes I feel like they make it up, like for that
Yeah.
game, like, oh, he looked down the first baseline in a high wind, in a
Well,
high
if
westerly
you played
wind.
162 games a year, you might need something to get you up for some
I was just,
games.
you know what? That's a really good point.
And when we were young, they just did cocaine to
Yeah,
keep
or
you
yeah,
fucked.
yeah, amphetamines, like,
Yeah, and this guy's got Vaseline on the lid of his hat. This
yeah.
guy, the Negro brothers are
He
putting
had the file in his pocket when he was on the Yankees.
file down.
He pulled his he rabbit ears his pockets,
It's pretty
and
brilliant, and
the
it's pretty
file popped
similar to
out.
boxing when you used to, when the ref's
Yeah,
on the other side, hit him hit him
yeah,
low. He
right,
can't.
right, right, right.
Very few dudes held on to it, and and even less now. But you had a guy like Bernard who was tricky that way.
Yeah, Bernard would definitely
There's
do that. Yeah.
Tony.
Hmm.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit of sports outside of boxing, guys.
That's how slow it is.
That's how slow it is. This is it's a bit of news, but it's interesting, and I'm not opposed to this. What he's saying, meaning I don't disagree. Now,
Right.
Junto Nakatani and his trainer Rudy Hernandez, who I think is a brilliant trainer and underrated trainer,
Right.
prefer a fight with Naoya Inoue sooner rather than later. We would rather fight Inoue now than tomorrow, Rudy Hernandez said. I want to get a better version of Inoue than an older version.
That's hard.
If we wait until next year, the excuse will be that Inoue got older. There is more credit to it if we beat him now. Anytime a fighter gets a bit older, that's the first excuse. They'll say it would have been different if he were younger. Now, but after I printed this, actually, because we print out our stuff, we're old school, me and you. We print out our stuff, guys. Inoue cut a promo back at them and
Did
was
he?
like, which is like not their way, nor is it really Junto's,
Right.
because this is Rudy Hernandez. He was like, nah, man, like I'll be in my prime then, and it ain't no problem. So I don't know what you're on about. Now, look, there's still validity to what the Nakatani camp, but by what I really mean is
Agreed.
Rudy Hernandez said, look how quickly you leapt from saying on this show correctly, yo, I see a little slide in Canelo. From that to this guy's done, man. At a high level, you meant. You
Yeah.
didn't mean he's done. He can't beat a William Skull or he can't beat a guy at 68. It's not, but at a high level, this guy is no longer going to be our pound for pound on our pound for pound. Is what you're saying to me.
Correct.
When we have to come up to our next one, you're basically saying, I don't think Canelo should be on this. We're going to discuss it after some big fights happen because that's when we change our lists.
Right.
And those guys are fighting soon. When we got Bam fighting, when we got Boots, we're going to get into those type of guys. Is Boots going to enter it? Is one guy going to get out of here? We don't know. I do like that they're pushing for it and saying, yo, if I pack you up in 2026 or 2027, that's the first thing you're going to say, like, oh, I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
So to have it next, you know what I mean?
I think
Because
it's also a good tactic that they
I
can
do
get him
too.
sooner than later. And if God, like he just got knocked down real bad in his last fight.
Yes,
Like
yes,
if he
yes.
even if he wins the next few fights,
In my opinion, that's what sparked this, B.
yeah,
In my opinion,
they
I don't
see a
know.
slide.
They see something enough to say this out
Yeah.
loud because
It's wild that they usually guys will jump on a fight because they see a slide and won't say nothing.
correct.
But this is reminiscent of, and again, they're not different points in their career, but this is Ray Leonard saying to apparently Michael J. Fox after the Mugabe Hagler fight, I can beat that
Hmm.
guy, and
Hmm.
coming out of a 3 year retirement to fight him
Right,
and beating him
right.
on
Yeah,
paper.
on the scorecards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
still did well regardless after 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, hung in there
Yeah.
with the best
I mean,
middleweight, one
did
of the best middleweights
I
ever.
mean? Granted, I think Hagler won the fight,
Me too.
but the fact that a guy coming to Hagler's weight while Hagler was still active
Yeah,
and hadn't been active, and naturally a smaller guy,
we're
that
really listing the reasons Ray got the nod. We're really
just
that's
looked better than they thought he would.
exactly. How
Right.
many times do we say, "Yo, when you think X is going to happen and Z happens, you end up giving more credit
Oh yeah.
than is due." You know, because he's
Right.
like, "Gee, this guy moved up. How many weight divisions? He's been gone. The retina problem. He retired. He
He's
pump faked it a bunch of times.
truly both guys are amazing. And again,
Amazing."
not to get but anyway, I think
So they're saying they're saying MJ next, and then who did we announce? It's a 3-fight plan. It goes MJ
well,
next,
I
and
thought
then
it was
someone.
Cardenas, MJ, and then I don't know.
Oh, so when we said it, oh, damn, I can't remember. Yeah, see, I'm not with that if I'm Nakatani going MJ someone else than him at the top of the year. But I want all right, so
Well,
the MJ fight's gonna happen next, so we're thinking the fall, right?
yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, I want
I
that
mean,
fight.
Nakatani could move up and just start trying to pick guys off.
Yeah, true. Yeah, which I mean, he's got to, it's not like he can't do the Bud Crawford and just wait. You
No.
know what I mean? Frank Warren has told the Ring magazine that if Hamza Shiraz is to overcome Edgar Berlanga on the July 12th Ring magazine card, then he could see him standing a good chance at beating Canelo Alvarez. Guys, let's get that out of here. He, if Look, Eddie Hearn came out, bro. He was talking to my man Marcos Villegas from Fight Hub and was like, yo, he might retire before that Bud fight. That's what Eddie said, like today.
Canelo?
Yes.
Oh wow.
He's like, he's definitely retiring after it. He might retire before the Bud fight. I was like, no, no, no. Don't.
Imagine.
I mean, you're doing what Ray did to Hagler when he went to that event and Hagler shows up thinking they're gonna
Yeah, talk about
talk about the rematch.
rematch. Yeah.
And Hagler's like, fuck you, fuck this sport. I'm out. I'm going to Italy.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I watched it. It's with my man. They're on Skype or I mean Zoom.
Right.
Marcos gets great interviews from people. Shout out my man Marcos Villegas, Fight Hub. Um, and Eddie lists like a variety of reasons. You know what I mean? Ones you spoke about. Like he looks a little bit older. He will get up for someone like Bud. That's why I think he's going to take it.
Right.
But if he were to retire before
You
then,
wouldn't be surprised.
you wouldn't be shocked, and
I'd be shocked.
I would.
Yeah,
I
I
would.
would be shocked.
People that don't like him say he's pulled X, Y, and Z over all these years. Da 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 da. Da. I just don't see him pulling something like that, man.
No,
I
no,
just
no,
don't.
no.
I
Well,
just don't.
it's $80 million on the table or whatever too. I don't.
Right. And we
Yeah.
and we haven't announced the other things which we're about to right now.
Let's
We're going to
go.
get into it right now. These things all will play a part with that 80 million that could easily go up to 200. The Canelo Alvarez Terence Crawford Ring Magazine Super Middleweight Championship fight will now take place on Saturday, September 13th. Why? Because they listen to us.
That's confirmed?
Confirmed. The event could land in 5 potential locations across New York City, Los Angeles, or Las Vegas. The promoter will be Sella for Riyadh season on September 13th, with the broadcaster still yet to be decided. Dana White TKO was supposed to promote the fight, but with the
Okay.
date change meaning a clash with Noche, Noche. Do you know what that means? With Noche
I don't.
UFC 3, that no longer appears to be the case. Dana White's out. I never wanted him in. No puff. I like that part about it. I don't know what the promoter will be. Sela, Sela,
So
Brendan,
it also will not
for
be
Riyadh
at it
season.
won't be at Reliant Stadium.
No, because we confirmed via Billy Bindle Sticks that there's a UNLV game there.
Right.
But
Which was why it was
everywhere,
on Friday.
right, everywhere is open season now, B, whether it's where the Jets play or the Giants, because it's that big, you
Okay.
know. Um, is the Garden too small for what we
Yes.
refer to on the show as a mega
Yeah.
fight?
20,000. It's like that's
Right, right. So if you're trying to go the 40, 50, 60,000 road, what else is in the Las Vegas area, Brendan? Aside from Allegiant, like where did UNLV
Allegiant, not
play
Reliant.
before?
Allegiant. I said
Allegiant?
I
What
said
did
I said Reliant.
I don't
That's
know
not
which one
right.
of us is right or
It's
wrong.
Allegiant. You're
It's
right.
Allegiant. Is there another football stadium in the Vegas area?
No, I
Because
don't think
why
so.
why would you still keep that city in the running if we know that there's a game at that city?
Right. And now you're in football season.
Does this Turki, is he so zapped that he thinks he can convince someone to move a college football game because he doesn't understand
But
American
so
football and how huge it is?
yeah, I mean, well, huge or not, from what I understand, that stuff in terms of like how it's negotiated with like the unions,
Mm-hmm.
concession, what they
Mm-hmm.
sell, advertising, and like the various leagues that they play in can't be moved. You can't just like
No,
say
you're
like,
right.
no, we're not doing this.
No, I'm saying, do you think someone's thinking that
Oh, I hope not.
that's not aware? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
realize
hope.
you can't do that, right, my guy? Like, you can't throw out a couple mil and
Yeah,
say, "Oh, move this to Friday or move this to da da da."
yeah.
So, um, I don't know what SELA means. Is that a person or a company?
I think it must be a company.
Um,
Uh,
so the promoter will be Sella for Riyadh season. Again, September 13th, New York, LA, or Las Vegas. You start getting into the LA area, you start opening up a lot of options for yourself.
I'm looking up
It's
seller promoter.
it's massive, Los Angeles. And
So
it's surrounded, because you still think of like a place like Carson, it's like that's still LA. But it's not, but it
yeah,
is, but it's not, but it is. People argue about that from there.
what about
Where the LA football teams play. You know,
yeah, I
the Raiders play at Allegiant where this UNLV game is going to be, correct?
yes.
Okay.
What's the
Someone tell me where you think this fight could be
yeah,
held in Vegas outside of Allegiant. What holds
I'm
m-
looking right now.
more than a T-Mobile,
LA
more than an
Memorial
MGM?
Coliseum. What if
I
they
mean,
did it with the Rose Bowl?
that would be either of those places would be insane, and you have
That
to
was what I was
have
looking
a
for. Sorry, I was
Mexican.
being so quiet.
No,
I
not at
was
all.
yeah,
I
all
knew
right.
what you were doing. So yeah, guys, we'll hear
So
about that more.
LA Coliseum, who who is that home to? Is
That's why I was
that's
asking where did the Rams play?
US USC plays there. That
That's got to
holds
hold 100,000.
it says 77.5. And it
Okay,
says the capacity pre 2018 is 93,000. Did they
that's what I
shrink some of
thought.
these things?
I don't know. I thought closer to 93.
I really don't. This is not.
I just remember
That's where it
watching
should be.
College Game Day with all those mental patients, and there'd be like 100,000 drunken college kids at like every big game. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if they've shrunken some of these places, Maybe they have. I don't know.
Okay, so
That's where it should be.
the Rose Bowl's in Pasadena.
What's that cat?
It's the 20th largest stadium in the world, 11th largest stadium in the United States. It's the stadium is 10 miles northeast of downtown LA.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, and this puppy holds why
110, I'm gonna say.
why is this thing not showing me? God damn it. 106 was the record attendance. It says the capacity is 89,000. Either way, these all work, right?
These all work. These all
Okay.
work. Let's bring
A-
that there.
And in New York, which would be New Jersey, the Meadowlands, what is it called? Giant Stadium? What the
I
hell?
don't know what it's called anymore because everyone keeps fucking buying. You know the Philly drawn's changing, right? From where we
Is
go
it?
to yeah, 5-year deal. So it's gonna be by the time we go
It's
see
still
the
the
next
Meadowlands
fight.
Sport Complex.
Okay, by the time we're back in Philly, B, if that happens,
Oh
because I
no, it's
got
not.
news that say it might not, um, it's gonna be changed. Wells Fargo.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, who got the naming rights?
we got to look it up. It's been the buzz in Philly, and I can't fucking remember. I just talked about it like all night in the studio
Oh,
because we
it's
were trying.
MetLife. What am I talking about? It's MetLife Stadium. MetLife.
Yeah, we were counting. B. This will be the fifth name because remember when it started
Yeah,
When Iverson got drafted and we opened the new
yeah.
joint, that was Comcast.
Okay. 82.5 at MetLife. I don't think that's gonna. I don't think it'll be there because it's football season, right? How are they gonna do that?
September 13th are the Giants or Jets home on September 13th?
Well,
That
I mean, they'd be home the next day. Can you
New Year.
clear out?
That's
Someone's
what
home the next day.
we had that talk. Can you clear a place out like that? You know what I mean? I don't know. The weather will be nice as shit
Yeah.
on the East
Do they
Coast.
have the football schedules out now? I don't think so, right?
Yeah, they just announced them.
Okay. So let's see. I'm gonna look now. All right, the
Uh,
Giants are.
September 14th.
I'm looking.
No, I'm just giving you the
Nope,
day.
that's at AT&T. So
Okay, so
that's at Jerry World.
okay. And Jets,
Let me see.
even if it was a Monday night, no, they would
The
never
Jets,
put that.
they could just cancel the
They
Jets.
could just cancel it.
No,
Forfeit.
no one
Just make
cares.
them 0-2. That probably is that the first week?
Jets.
Is that the first game of the season or the second?
So
They should just
the Jets are home at 1 o'clock on September
yeah,
14th.
they ain't doing that, bro.
No, that ain't gonna happen there.
That ain't gonna happen. All right, so me and B are going to L.A., baby.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Road trip.
Rose Bowl, yeah. Hello, KOTB
Road
Road
trip.
Trip. B, that's one fight slash city where I'd be like, yo, we're not even going to the fight. Let's just go to LA for like that Wednesday.
You like
To
LA
cover
that
my,
much?
I do, I do, and there's so many people that we like that would
Yeah.
hold it down, and we could just, you know what I mean? Have a ball.
I do like LA. Um, if I have time. I
I
don't
get
like,
it.
I like to take my
I
time.
rarely have time, so that's why I
Yeah.
would love to do something like
I
that.
like
I love LA. Is that Randy Newman?
it's Randy
I
Newman.
love it.
I just realized I went on a rabbit hole today
Hmm.
of music.
Hmm. A
I was
good
listening.
one or bad one?
Good one.
Oh, okay. Because no, some
You ever
music,
go down a Three Dog Night rabbit hole?
fucking right, bro. Get
Yo,
out of here.
that
Brilliant.
I was Randy Newman wrote, it's a Mama told me not to go.
Of course.
Randy Newman wrote that.
Randy got joints that people don't know he wrote, bro.
Right. And
Randy got mad joints besides his hits.
yeah, Randy Newman is, see, a lot of
Randy
people
knew the
just think he's
time.
like an 80s kind of, oh, look, this guy's,
They kind of give him the Warren Zevon treatment. Like, oh, he did like silly. He was mad talented, but he was
right,
silly with it. Like, um, satire. I'm like, bro, you gave people joints, you
right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all right. The WBO has confirmed representatives for Xander Zayas and Jorge Garcia Perez have reached an agreement to fight for the vacant WBO super welterweight world title. The bout could take place in New York in July. Fundora was recently stripped of that title by the sanctioning body after pursuing a rematch with Tim Tszyu over a fight with Zaya as his mandatory challenger. Guys, if you want to know in one news bit why the belts are fractured, here they are. because then you have Timmy Zoo and Fundora, which you said, Brendan, recently. Yo, that's for 2 belts. So then that guy gets in there and we can
Yeah.
unify this division. They already stripped him before it happens.
They stripped him.
Now this kid who has been unimpressive to us, what, two,
No,
maybe
and
3 fights in a row?
Charles Conwell losing that fight
Fucked
lo
everything
loses a shot at a belt that
that he probably, when he
and
looks good, would have won.
correct.
This is fucked.
This
This
is
is fucked.
this is a tough test for Zayas,
It
as
is,
it should be for a belt.
as it should be.
Um,
I'm willing to bet when the time comes that you're going to pick him.
Zayas,
No, Perez, Garcia
I'm gonna
Perez.
pick him.
Yeah, I know. I know how you feel. So and I'm not saying I'm not. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Right.
The guy that beat Charles Conwell, that guy shows up. That guy beats Xander Zayas.
I agree. You can
Unless
take him in deep water, unless
unless
Zayas
Conwell just
really
shit.
gets up for this fight, and we go, this is what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, because I was one of them, and then
Right.
I started crossing the picket line towards your side of things.
Yeah.
Where I go, I'm not writing him off yet, but he's definitely not doing what someone that's hyped up should be doing.
Right.
Look, guys, we've talked about Bob and Top Rank looking for that next Trinidad Cotto. And Cotto has been a long time now, guys, and a lot of kids have
Long
tried to
time.
fill that spot,
One guy
and they're
decided to
not.
kill his girlfriend.
Right. Who would have, could
Jesus
have been
Christ.
it. And
No one even talks about that. That's a terrible story.
it's fucking
My
awful,
God.
bro. Yeah. Jack Catterall versus Harlem Eubank is now being finalized for a welterweight clash on July 5th at the AO Arena in
Hey,
Manchester.
yo.
We need shirts for that. Hey, yo. Catterall loses that, pack him up. His career is done.
Yeah.
If he doesn't destroy Harlem Eubank,
Harlem
because
Eubank just got a shot because Chris Eubank,
of course,
you know.
guys, it works. It works that way in the UK. It works that way in the US.
Sure.
Buddy McGirt's kid got booked. Um,
James.
who else? I'm sorry that I'm stammering, guys. Marvis Frazier.
Yeah.
Paez's kid.
Yeah.
Camacho's kid. Like, guy, you know what I
Macho's
mean?
kid had like 80.
Yeah. Well,
Remember his ring
off, you
entrances?
thought he had the goods. Jesse James Leha ruined him.
Yep.
And you think he's done. And he fought 75 more years at 300 pounds higher. And what was he fighting Leha at? 140, B?
Yeah.
147?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's fighting at like cruiserweight in Puerto Rico still.
Let me see. His last fight was 2019. Yeah.
Oh, it was that long ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
If
But
you
I
told me
mean,
like 2023, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it. So Catterall's got to pack him up. That's a weird fight to take. I thought Catterall nicked it against what's his name in the fight. I think you scored it for Catterall too.
yeah.
Who was that, B? He beats Taylor in their rematch, and then he fights what's his name, and we gave it to him. I don't know why. Our
Was
memory,
swallow the fly because we're tired.
our
It was
memories are too
Barboza,
bad to have a
Barboza,
show.
Barboza,
Barboza,
Barboza, Barboza,
right?
Barboza.
Who just got the shot?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm prefacing this by saying there's some things I say to get you mad because I'm not a good friend, and then there's some things that get us both mad, and this is one of them. Conor Benn has welcomed a potential fight with Shakur Stevenson after Shakur said he would be willing to meet him at 154 one day. That's the bit of news. This is me talking. I'm not entertaining this other than to say, why the fuck don't you two worry about making fights now in your
Right.
respective divisions? So that's
Correct.
That's why you're talking about that.
Why is this even a thing? Is Shakur like this poorly managed? The career is, he's not with Matchroom now. He doesn't have a fight prospect coming up, right?
Well,
Nothing.
He's fighting Zapata on that.
Oh, right. He's fighting Williams. Yeah, never mind. What am I talking
Right.
about? He's fighting. He's
But
fighting.
bro,
Okay.
look,
Which is that in the news where that is?
I believe I got something coming
All right.
up. Babe.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's right now. Right now.
Okay.
Just I had to turn the page.
Well,
Sorry.
nice
my
little
bad, my bad.
segue.
It was perfect timing. The William Zapata, Shakur Stevenson, Edgar Berlanga Hamza Shiraz fight will take place at Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. I text B and go, B, did they change that Arthur Ashe Stadium? And you go, I'm fucking looking it up right now,
Hmm.
thinking exactly what you thought. And I said, you're thinking to me, you're thinking like me. There's no fucking way that there's two tennis stadiums and not just in New York, both in Queens. And you go, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
They're right next to each other.
And you go, they're right next to each other. By the way, guys, what's it called? It's beautiful. The Arthur
Arthur
Ashe.
Ashe, yeah.
I saw something there, and they did because we're in 2025 and things are insane. Did you see the AI they did of what this will look like? B?
No, I didn't see it.
It's
It's gonna be
crazy. It's
awesome, I
gonna
bet.
it's gonna
So
be
it's a
beautiful.
retractable roof. So okay, guys. So Arthur Ashe Stadium is reserved only to be used 2 weeks a year.
Correct.
Okay, so this is where I got confused, and I think if anybody's not a big tennis fan, or maybe I'm just out of the loop, I didn't know. And it's funny too because I drive 69th Street and Julie Avenue. I drive down there all the time. In
Guys,
fact,
Brendan lives in
when
Long Island, and Queens is attached to Long
when
Island.
when I was talking to you, I shouldn't say this too loud, and I was texting while driving with you.
Yeah,
And I was actually working right near there that day, right near Flushing
yeah,
Meadow Corona Park. And I said, I drive past this place and I didn't realize that there was two tennis stadiums.
right.
So tennis is such a wealthy sport
Yeah,
that only twice a year during the during the U.S. Open they
right,
use Arthur Ashe Stadium. Louis Armstrong is used for smaller tournaments and the losers bracket of the U.S. Open.
right.
So there's also I went to my cousin's college commencement,
Yeah, we spoke about that.
which I
Right.
thought was at Arthur Ashe,
It
and
wasn't.
my father goes, no, that was at my cousin lives in Forest Hills.
Yeah.
That was at Louis Armstrong,
But
and
it
I was like,
was a it
oh,
was an
so
NYU graduation,
yeah.
right?
And
Yes.
I
Why?
just pulled up, walked in, and they're like, oh, where was her graduation? And I was like, oh,
At Arthur Ashe, but it was really at
it
Louis
was it
Armstrong.
was at Louis Armstrong. Like my
Yeah.
college graduation was at the Yale Tennis Center,
Got you.
which is also gorgeous,
Yeah.
beautiful,
Guys, these buildings we're talking about are dope. They're
and
gorgeous.
perfect
They're
for boxing.
perfect for boxing. I didn't know what B just said that there's a retractable roof. So, guys, if it's don't got to worry about it raining in New York
Nah,
on
this
that
is
day.
actually perfect. Hopefully, this sets off a trend.
Yes.
The only what's weird
This
is
is this is now look, we cut some promos recently. This is something mega cool that Turki Al-Sheikh is
yeah,
doing. And if it wasn't his idea, it was someone in his camp. Yo, look at this.
right.
Look at how it's shaped. Look at what it's
I think it seats 14,000, so it's big
I
enough.
was gonna say to you, gun to my head, I
They
thought it
just
would be
redid it.
10. I thought it was 10. 14 sounds good.
Let me see, Joe Louis Stadium. Not Joe Louis Stadium.
Louis
Louis
Armstrong
Armstrong
Stadium,
Stadium. Sorry.
Queens, New York. Yeah. So guys, B lives on the island. Queens is a, Queens in the island, like
This is 35 minutes from my house.
yeah.
So, what I was gonna say was,
I know people who rode their bikes from the island to Queens to buy fireworks when they were little. So
yeah,
that's a
yeah. Well, I mean, especially if you're in
Rosedale or
if
something,
yeah,
right?
well,
Yeah.
so if you guys have ever heard of Belmont, Park, it's Elmont, okay, and then uh the hell am I talking about? It's Belrose and Elmont, so it's
Right.
Belmont,
And
okay,
Rosedale guys, where
Rosedale, St. Albans,
Paul C
yeah.
was
So
the legend was
all
from
those
Rosedale.
all those towns that run like Floral Park is like part of it's in Queens, part of it's Long Island.
Yeah.
Um, even whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But so Louis Armstrong Stadium's it's a 14,000 seat stadium, USTA Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in New York City, one of the venues of the U.S. Open. So like the lower brackets and the losers bracket play here. It's named after Louis Armstrong, who famously is from New Orleans, but
Yes.
lived in Queens.
Right.
So I don't know, man. This is pretty cool. The only event that besides, believe it or not, and you pointed this out the other day on the phone, the only other event that they've had at Arthur Ashe is AEW wrestling.
Yes,
And it was a
yes.
one-off, right?
It was a one-off, and the owner of AEW Wrestling is Tony Khan, the son of Shad Khan, who owns Fulham, who play in the
Yeah.
Premier League, I believe. Um, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe their net worth is like 8 billion, 8 or 9 billion.
Okay.
So I'm sure their relationship with owners is good. And that's why that one-off happened there. You know what I mean?
Okay, so check this out. The stadium has two levels. The lower bowl has 6,400 reserve seats, and the I don't even know how to say that. The cantilevered upper bowl has 7,000 unreserved seats. The stadium has a retractable roof, the largest of its kind among the number two stadiums at the Grand Slam venue. So
Wow.
it's uh it's the 13th largest tennis venue in the world based on capacity. It is the first tennis stadium to have a roof to be naturally ventilated as well. I hope that this is just another place to do,
Me too. Me too.
fights, and this is really cool.
B, while we're on Shakur real quick, no Diddy.
So
By the
Central
way,
Park is out, by the way.
right, that
I
case, the Diddy case is batshit crazy. It's fucking insane. So, B, Shakur Stevenson sat down with Mike Coppinger. He used to be with ESPN, now is Ring. I've known Cop a long time. Did you hear anything about this? What I'm about to say? Do you know what I'm
Yes,
about to
I know what
say?
you're about to say, and I
Did you
watched it.
see it?
I
Okay,
watched
so
it.
this is gonna, guys, B is gonna let you in on this. I didn't see the interview. I heard about the interview. Apparently, Shakur Stevenson took Mike Coppinger to task for racial bias in his reporting.
Oh, I didn't see that part. I just saw
Yeah.
the actual part where he goes, This is the worst. This is like the third take we've done. He's the worst interviewer I've ever worked with
Okay.
about
I,
Cop."
I didn't know anything about that,
Oh
but
yeah, so that was what went to air. Ring
so
posted that, and Cop goes, "Oh, thank you for the kind word, Shakur." And he said,
someone I know well wrote, shout out to Shakur Stevenson for taking Mike Coppinger to task for his racial bias covering boxing. I've known Cop a long time and have not thought that about him. We've disagreed, not like a disagreement where we're fighting. You know what I mean? Disagree our
"I I don't
scores or something like that. I don't know where you would get that from Cop. So it's not only did Shakur say it, but people seem to be celebrating that he said it, and I'm like, that's a weird pick for a guy to
I
like.
don't I don't I
You
never
know
would."
those guys me and you talk about? There's a couple of white guys that are like MAGA guys, and they're clearly racist
Yeah,
in boxing. Like
yeah,
if they did it about those guys, I'd be like, oh, word. Like I celebrate
yeah.
that
I'll
too.
say his name,
You,
Montero on boxing. That's
you,
the guy.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know him. And you were like, oh yeah, bro, he's big on all of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
I've never seen it, but you're one of my best friends. So when you
yeah,
tell me, I go, oh,
yeah.
and
I know. I don't know. Not this Coppinger thing. I mean, he's a
now,
reputable.
yeah,
Again, if you
there's another guy, B, who has been in boxing a really long time. And I've seen with my eyes, and I've said, there seems to be some racial bias here. He's never said something racist. This guy I'm talking about. I'm not
right.
talking about the guy you're talking about, but I'm like, there's something here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where if I saw a person of color go at them, I go, oh, I understand that.
Right, right,
Cop
right, right.
isn't one of those people.
No, I don't.
I've always liked Cop, and we've always, been cordial. So it's a so it
That's
should
weird.
if
The
he
part
if,
I didn't see that part. The part I saw, it
I
just
also
seemed.
don't think Shakur has shown that he's one of those type of guys up until now. Like I've never heard him bitch about that. Like he loves Loma. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like you
I'm
know how
curious. There's got to be history there.
there's
Then,
got
you
something
know.
had to happen for him to because that's hey man,
Hey man,
I wouldn't take
Shakur was a top ranked guy who fought on ESPN. Maybe,
maybe
he got written poorly about. They did
maybe
Cop trash one of his fights?
maybe those ones that people said we
I mean,
weren't
look, yeah, I
saying it.
mean,
People said all people were falling asleep at the Rock when he fought in his hometown.
yeah,
If he reported that, maybe you know what I'm saying. There's some people, bro. Like someone just before we got on air tagged me in an album review of mine
okay,
of the new record, and it's a positive review. but there's some lines in there that like are annoying. You know what I'm saying?
What's the
Like
name of
you,
that record and where can people get it?
God Send Vengeance, available everywhere you stream music and jmtstore.com. But
Thank you, thank
some
you.
things can hit you on the wrong day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know, but I'm interested.
See, now you got me searching.
Yeah, I know I do. If you just put your, if you go to Twitter and put your core Mike Cobbinger, I'm sure I wonder if the what's it called is available. Is the tape available, or did they edit it and we just know because we know?
Here, I'm gonna send you the tweet
But you're sending me Shakur just shitting on him. You know what I'm
to his
saying?
face. To his face.
Oh, he says like,
They're
yo, you're.
they're they're doing an interview together.
I
Stop
thought
his.
you no, I
Uh,
know that. I thought you meant he finishes the interview after he takes to Twitter to say, yo, I just did this interview. This guy's the pits.
no, no. It's.
I saw this.
Oh, you
Guys,
did. Okay.
no, no, no. I didn't watch it.
Uh,
I saw what it said. Guys, it says Shakur Stevenson gives spicy, and spicy is in all caps, spicy interview with the Rings Mike Coppinger. When I saw that, I thought it was like him talking crazy about Tank or something. So I just went, I'm not interested in that
no.
until these guys went, all right. So
Yeah, check
that
it out. Uh,
maybe that will already be the intro to one of the this week's shows, guys. I'll try to make it happen.
yeah.
All right. So I don't look. I'm just saying on record. I never saw that from Cop. You know what I mean? But I
I,
think people should be called out if that's how they are. I don't think he's like that. There are people that should be called out though. There are
yeah,
bigots
I'm
from all
again,
races,
dude,
creeds, and
it's
colors
a
in
tribal
boxing.
it's a
It's a
tribal
tribal
sport.
sport. I mean, there's this dude, the dude that was going at me, be like the Sunday night of the Inoue fight. He stinks and his jaw is trash. Remember that a
Yeah,
couple
yeah,
weeks
yeah,
ago?
yeah, yeah.
You know, and I'm like, oh, you just, it's cool, bro. You only like black fighters, but just say that then,
Right.
and we can move along.
Yeah.
We can get past this. The WBO has denied Callum Smith's formal request for a mandatory title shot against Dmitry Bivol. Callum, you're lucky that happened. The decision will clear the path for a trilogy bout between Bivol and Beterbiev expected for later this year. My guess is the fall, maybe December, but I'd like it better in October,
Yeah.
November. But
Sooner the better.
yes, yeah, let's get October, guys. WBO lightweight belt. My apologies. Smith is in negotiations to defend his interim WBO lightweight heavyweight belt against Anthony Yard in August in Riyadh. That's good for both
Right.
of them because they're
And,
around the
and we
same.
talked about that
We
last
did,
week.
and
Right.
that's a
Yeah.
nice fight because those guys aren't. We're now, you and I now add. We say it's a two-person division. It's really three with Benavidez
Sure.
and Morel's really good,
Sure.
really, really good. So it's these guys at the top with Bivol being 40. You know what I mean? I don't know if I mean better be being 40. I don't know if Bivol turned 34 or 5 yet. I think he's still 33 or 34, and he just doesn't take a beating. He has one loss, didn't take a beating. The second fight, close, didn't take a. He's just really good. He's so good defensively. He can hang around as long as he wants,
Sure.
if he sees fights out there. I think you agreed with me. I think Beterbiev retires, win, lose, or draw.
I do agree.
Maybe a draw. Do you go for four? Maybe you could talk him into it because a draw, unless the cards are bad, means you're still high level and fighting at a high
Sure.
level. So you go, oh, I could do that again for a big bag. The Tank Davis Lamont Roach rematch will take place on August 16th in Las Vegas.
Hmm.
So we just said last week's one of the episodes, I said, you didn't. I said, B, what's going on here? Are these guys even in camp? I was so
Yeah.
appreciate whoever PBC for locking it in because I was
Yeah.
saying like I don't think this is even going to happen, and you were like, "Nah, I think it's going to happen,"
I think
and
that
I was like, "I
I
think
think
this thing."
I think August is always a good month. You know, things start to slow down in other sports. You know, you get that
Yeah,
like that dead period.
yeah.
There's no
All you have
football
is
yet,
right.
and
It's
baseball's at like dog days of summer baseball.
dog days of summer. You're waiting to see who's going to get into the playoffs. Football's in camp, so everyone's kind of it's
That's
dog
when
days of
Pacquiao
summer.
always had a fight, right? Didn't
Yeah,
you usually get like an August fight?
August, yeah, or sometimes September pre
Yeah.
Canelo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of you know, and Floyd did it. Floyd did it too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, guys, I'm going to be very interested in talking about that fight. It's not for months, so it's not for 3 months. But um, if he doesn't pack up Lamont Roach, it's very much going to go similarly, and
Right.
he's going to be the same problem. The thing is, Lamont Roach is a 130 guy. You know what I mean? I doubt now he'll go back.
He'll never go back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. So that's got to be vacated. And there's some guys at 130 that we just recently talked about to make that division interesting again.
Right.
Lastly, Turki Al-Sheikh has revealed that Jaron Boots Ennis versus Teofimo Lopez is in talks for August in Riyadh. Boots WBA welterweight um, mandatory. Shakram Gayasov, who's really good, by the way,
Hmm.
would step aside to allow the fight. So he'll get some money and probably fights from one, like maybe a name guy or a solid
Yeah.
guy or a contender. Step aside, they'll pay him money for Boots Teofimo to be
So
in
this
Riyadh.
contradicts what I heard from matchroom officials
Okay.
in Atlantic City
Okay.
that Boots would be back in Philly in
In
September.
September, correct. That's why I made it a point to bring it up to show
Okay.
that we heard from the people you're supposed to hear from.
I mean, I was there with
There
them,
is no higher than higher ups at a company.
sitting at a table with them.
Right now, did this
Us
guy
having a
slide
beer with the
in
person.
and go, giant bag here, and you guys are getting some of it, and
And it's a beatable, winnable fight.
I look, I'm talking again, like I'm talking about Tank. We are not going to break these fights down for 3 months.
Right.
I see nothing that stops Boots from just beating the shit out of Teofimo Lopez. I see nothing from either of
With
them.
the way Lopez talks, with the way he acts, the drubbing, I'm already a Boots fan.
Correct.
I'm a Boots groupie. I'm a Bootsy.
Bro,
I go
there's
to
a
all his fights.
I'm a Bootsy.
I'm a Bootsy. All right. I go to all the guys' fucking fights.
Bootsy Mudge, they call me on
I
the island.
will.
Back in Brooklyn, they used to call me Bootsy
Ming,
Mudge.
they used to call this kid the.
Man,
Yeah. So I think
I think he
I will
dog
be,
walks this
but
kid.
I won't even be rooting for that. I'll be rooting for violence.
Fair. Did you see Tim Bradley cut a promo on Boots? Did you see the promo?
He cut a promo on Boots?
Yes.
No.
He hasn't fought anyone good. I'm not saying he's not good, but he hasn't beaten anyone with one of those promos. So is he now becoming the Stephen A. Smith of boxing?
Like
Where
he
I'm
just
just
says a
gonna
hot
say
take.
shit. Yes, because this will go viral. I'm doing air
I
quotes.
think he does just say whatever's on his mind that minute
I'm okay, that's fair. I'm now
with
in
there's no filter, there's no nothing. Whether people love it or hate it,
right.
it'll get views. I'll, didn't he just get into like a feud with another fighter too? Tim Bradley, who's,
Yeah,
some,
who just yeah. Who did he just talk about?
I
It was
can't remember.
Devin, but Bill Haney.
Oh, right.
Bill
Yeah. Yeah.
Haney. And then
Yeah.
they're using racist. I'm not gonna say what they say, you know what I mean? Well, I know the one is bootlicker, which is
Yeah.
just like, yo, stop. And then the other ones are like, shit, I ain't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm not
No,
getting into that, bro. I'm not
we
black.
don't.
I'm not,
Yeah.
we don't do that.
We get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
We stay outside of that.
So B, before we go on, that's the last bit of news. Where do you
So
stand
funny.
there? Is that Turkey saying
me,
crazy
me,
shit?
me and you going, you know what?
Yeah, you know what? Better we stay.
My
We don't.
name's Emmett. And I'm not in it. You
Right.
know. Uh,
What do you think about that bit of news? Do you think there's reality there, or is it Turki Al-Sheikh doing the "I'm playing with my toys"?
well, played with certain toys, and you and I might not like it because it eliminates some of the merit, but we've seen some of these things come to fruition, and then we've also just seen them as like a passing idea, and
Here's
everyone
why
forgets
I
about it.
here's why I can see some validity in it, and you can take this and say that's a good point or that's moot. Norman is fighting this summer in
He
Japan.
he doesn't have a dance partner.
Who?
Boots.
Right. No, that's established. I'm saying these other guys to
Yeah,
unify. Brian Norman doesn't want it and is fighting in Japan, and Barrios is fighting Pacquiao in
right.
July. So those two belts, at least for the summer,
And
and the
what was
fighters
this
that
and
have
what
them.
was discussed with me in April were those two names.
Right. So now you have them gone until
So Matchroom skates potentially skates without really risking their fighter, they feel, in terms
yeah,
of the matchup, right?
yeah,
A huge fight which will further his name, okay?
absolutely it will.
The possibility of a highlight reel knockout against a bigger name.
High.
Matchroom comes out smelling like roses here, as from where you and I see it.
Yes, right. Where you and I see it, absolutely.
It's
Where
free
others might see
promo
it,
for their fighter, and they don't
yes.
have to
The
put on the
way
show.
someone else that's a huge Teo fan that thinks he can go up and up and up and win at a high level is upset of the year, and then it's Boots is fucked. You know what I mean? No, no
Yeah.
diddy. Um,
I don't think Teo's handlers like him that much, so they're like, yeah, go ahead, get in
yeah,
there
go ahead. Get in there with a giant welter, not just a welter, a guy
right
that's going to 54 very soon either way.
and get your head taken off.
Yeah, get your head for him.
All right.
All right, we're gonna talk about some cards from this weekend. One that ironically you didn't know about, and I didn't know about because I break your balls and go, "Where are you looking?"
Yeah.
Someone with a name fought, and neither one of us had a clue.
What do you
And I'll
got?
get to it. Saturday on the Zone, Copper Box Arena, London. B. I looked up the cap because it was packed in there for this Johnny
Johnny
Fisher
Fisher and Dave Allen.
7,500 cap packed. So,
I saw you reposted Dave Diamante's altercation
oh, I did, I
where
did.
they played a little trick on my friend Dave.
This devilish Sonny Edwards played a trick on your friend, and I was none too happy to watch a New Yorker have a breakdown.
It was Dave is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Dave's no punk.
No, he's not having it.
He's not having
He's
it.
having it. I highly recommend finding on the Matchroom IG, guys. This Sonny Edwards and the Matchroom guys, they fucking get a guy to pick up Dave. It's a 5 minute ride from Dave's hotel
Yeah.
to Copper Box, which is in London. Literally a 5 minute ride. And this guy is the first of the guy who plays the cabbie is a genius. And he's playing
Yeah.
like yeah, and he fucks with Dave and Dave wants to get there because he's got a fucking job to
Well,
do.
so yeah, so everyone's in on it.
Right.
They call
Except
Dave.
poor Dave.
They tell him you're late. He's doing content for Matchroom.
Correct.
So Dave, quick on his feet, says, "All right, we'll just do the content in the cab on the way there."
In the cab, I'm late. Yeah.
He asked the guy to be quiet, and the lorry driver just keeps talking. So you guys got to watch it. But they try to punk my
Just
man
watch it,
Dave, and
guys. Yeah.
I think that's why they must know that about Dave, and they're like,
Yeah,
we'll
they'll
get good.
fly off at the handle.
Yeah,
Well, truly brilliant pranksters go after people like me and you who will swing
right,
on you. And Dave was
right.
about to swing on
He's
him.
gonna kill a guy.
Yeah, he's gonna kill this
Now,
poor
I've witnessed
bastard.
it in person
Sure, I haven't, but
when things happen, but I won't
yeah,
say anything, and now the world knows.
right.
So, and I've seen like the mixed reviews of what people are saying about poor Dave here online, and I'll just come out and say, and as you know, Dave is a friend of mine, and he's an all around great guy, and yeah, man, you just don't fuck with some people, especially when they're at work.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to start by saying that in my opinion, Sonny Edwards is already in rarefied air as far as analysts go, and
Yeah,
he hasn't been doing this very long. He did some while he was pro, so it's not like he just threw him to the
right.
wolves. Like,
He's
he's still
great.
fighting. I really like Bellew too, and I don't think you do as an
Oh yeah,
analyst.
I think he's okay.
I don't know how he would be calling the fights, and he has called fights, but I like him as an ex-fighter when they go. I really like the guy that hosts the shows. I think he follows both of us.
He
I
follows
I
you.
I don't know how you. I always mix his name up because I think of Michael Elijah Silk, but I forget how you say his name. But I think Bellew and he do a really good job too. This kid Jimmy Sains, 9-09 KOs against a kid named Gideon. Antonani, 7-4 middleweight. Sane's a southpaw, up and down with the jab, herky jerky style. Can fight coming forward, can fight off the back foot. The jab alone was winning him the fight. But when you have a guy with zero knockouts in front of you, guys, this Gideon Antonani, zero knockouts in front of you. You are 9-0 with 9 KOs. Why are you not letting your shit go? He won every round on my card, but it was difficult to watch. It was boring. And I'm going, why are you not letting your shit go? And you're on a big card.
Yeah.
That's broadcast globally. It's not a little local rinky dink card. The world's watching. The reason I'm bringing up these next two guys is for a reason. Kieran Conway, 22-3, versus Jerome Warburton, 15-1. Brutal body shots from Kieran Conway. In the fourth, folded Warburton up, and his corner threw in the towel as he's still digging to the body. I say that to say this. I don't know how you say his name. I've heard it said both ways. We're doing a Bivol thing here.
Yep.
George Liddard or George Liddard? George Liddard, 22 years old, 11-0, 6 KOs versus a kid named Aaron Sutton, 19-1. Liddard dropped Sutton with a huge left hook on the button 20 seconds into the first round. This Sutton's badly hurt. He gets up and starts firing back. So I go, oh, he's crazy. He's one of those kind of tough
Yeah.
UK guys. Maniacs throwing back when he was just,
Yeah.
He even landed a few right hands. Tough kid. Liddard lands a monster overhand right in the second, dropped him again. Aaron Sutton, far too tough for his own good. His corner should have stopped it in between the second and third, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Straight right hand on the chin, dropped Sutton for a third time in the fifth. He was aware he was going to beat the count, but thankfully the corner threw in the towel. I'm a fan of this George Liddard. So they're going to make Kieran Conway, George Liddard,
Okay.
is apparently the next for the British title. And that's a fun fight. Once you get that British title, then you start cracking top tens and stuff. These are middleweights, and we've talked about that division being pretty sparse, B. And no one's helping unify at 60 with Lara having one. And
it's a nightmare.
Adames having the other one, and Alamhanala having the one.
Yeah,
so this kid's 22 years old. He's 12-0 with 7 KOs. We need some new blood in there. If Janabek can't, All right, Johnny the Romford Bull Fisher. There's Dave White Rhino Allen too. Heavyweights. Dave Allen clearly going for the plumber from Little Neck Queens body type for this fight.
He's great.
He's great. I imagine Johnny Fisher's trainer, Mark Tibbs, who's very good, has a meltdown when this kid stops jabbing. This Johnny Fisher. I imagine he just loses his fucking head. Dave Allen had nothing for that jab, nothing.
No, but he just walked him down.
Yeah, so keep firing it, double, triple it up, then put a 2 behind it. He started doing all of that, and he looked good. When he would mix it up, this Dave Allen walked right forward, land a nice body shot, or overhand right, and those shots were rattling him. I'm going,
every time.
Yep. Riyadh. Fisher lands a huge right hand in the fifth that he set up with a body shot and dropped Fisher again in the 5th round. Same as in Saudi.
Allen lands. Yeah, Allen lands.
Yes, Allen lands one. And he was on Queer Street. He beats the count, meaning Fisher. His legs were gone.
And Allen,
as the bell's about to ring, this Allen lands a left hook that separated this Johnny Fisher from his body. I'm talking
towel flies in.
Towel flies in as he's falling. I've never seen this. I've never seen in all my years, as the body is falling, that you see the towel.
Yeah, the towel is flying in.
Look, these guys are who they are. So unless Dave Allen gets offered a bag to fight a real guy, I see no reason not to do it a third time. Or get Dave Allen a fight at home. I think he's from Sheffield, B. Am I wrong there?
I'm not exactly sure.
Look, as an aside, this Dave Allen might be my favorite person in boxing right now. Just right now. We bounce around with that stuff. No puff. Right now, this guy's promo, I love this guy. What an amazing lad. Yeah. I what a nice guy. He's got kids. His promo's brilliant. Um, what a level-headed, realistic guy. He said something about himself like, "Yo, maybe I'm not on the world level, but I can beat some of these guys." He said something
Yeah.
to that effect, like, "Yo, you got to be a real man to say some shit like that."
Yeah,
I'd love this.
we actually asked our friend Adam to write us about these two guys.
Yes,
Um and I'm gonna read what he did write us. Adam
I
Instom
don't.
wrote us.
Okay, hit me
So I'm
because
gonna
I didn't hear from Adam.
I know I wanted to surprise you.
Okay, thank you.
So because we're old school, I'm printing it right now.
Is he
Probably
gonna yell at us?
no, he says, hey fellas, hope you're doing well. He said our London impressions had him cracking up. He wasn't at the show
Oh,
last week. He has a BBQ party to prepare for. So I hope that went well, Adam.
yeah. Hope it went
Um,
well, buddy.
so he says Fisher's really popular down South London and Essex. Always
Okay,
sells a lot of tickets and attracts big crowds.
7,500. Yeah.
He's a hometown hero type of guy. So guys, we had asked on the show what folks on your
Yes.
side of the pond thought and
Yes.
why this was
We
a
did.
big deal and
Right.
we sort of thought this is why. Dave Allen was similar, but I think he fell off long ago and probably should have retired. I remember every time he announced his next fight, everyone in the comments was asking for him to quit because he kept getting smashed up so badly.
Hmm.
Um, Adam says he doesn't think either are going on to big things, but don't quote me on this. Oops.
Uh-huh.
um, he then thinks what I thought that Fisher was going to get the win, but he does say check out George Ladard though. He's one to watch. All the best,
That's my
fellas.
guy. It's my
Yep.
guy.
Love the podcast. So you and Adam are on the same page. Adam wrote us, so both these guys are popular. And
Thanks, Adam.
yeah,
Hope we see you soon, buddy. Long. You know what I like? Dave Allen, Moses Itama. That's a nice fight
a nice fight. I
to
saw that.
give him. To
I
give him. I'm getting
yeah,
to it. I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Saturday, the Zone, Thunder Studios in Long Beach and Cali, Marv Nation, Mares Promotions, meaning Abner. We both missed this, as did every schedule that exists. Fernando Vargas Jr., who is 16-0 with 14 knockouts on the Zone. Nothing about it.
what? So now who
I know.
who's to
How
blame for that? Is it
I
the researchers or is it the promoter not telling boxing scene and not telling the news outlets to put this on the schedule? Because it wasn't on any schedule.
I'm going to tell you this. It was a 5-fight card. I'm only going to talk about 2 of them. The other 3 were real prospects. This was a real card with real promoters. Marv Nation and Abner Mares being a former champion in a couple divisions and a current analyst for what was Showtime and is now on PBC Amazon Prime. A visible guy. You
Sure.
would think, at least within the sport, he is. He's not a household name. On the Zone on a Saturday night, I don't know how this. We don't. So the co-main, B, we spoke about him on the show before. A kid named Nathan Rodriguez, 20 years old, 18-0, 12 KOs, versus Carlos Buitriago, 39, 14-1 with 23 KOs. First off, big up to Abner Mares for putting Nathan Rodriguez, who's 20 years old and 18-0, in there with a 55 fight veteran with almost 40 wins, who fought for a world title at one point. Me and you harp on this. Yo, can you put this guy in there with like a live human
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see what he's got? Rodriguez came out popping the jab, double, triple, put it downstairs, all jabs. I don't even think he put a right hand behind it until the second. I like that. Carlos Buitriago knows how to fight, as I said, knows how to survive. So it seemed like it was on Nate Rodriguez to push it, B.
Okay.
Um, but he and his corner seemed fine winning a lopsided decision. That part I didn't like. You got to say pick it up and get this guy out of here.
Right, right.
All of this guy's experience, meaning Carlos Butriago, B, was a way smaller divisions. Do you know what I mean? So pack him up. You know, these
Yeah.
things he did and the experience, he was way smaller. So say, get this guy out of here. In between the fifth and sixth rounds, Bowie Triago's corner stops it, and he's visibly going, "What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing?" But they called it. Very odd to me. Nathan Rodriguez goes to 19 and 0, 13 KOs. Gabe Rosado was on the call with Beto Garcia. I'll say this. Gabe Rosado said something because Carlos Bowie Triago looked very mad that it was stopped.
Mhm.
And he was like, this guy's going for the Oscar because he's like stomping around the ring. Gabe almost implying he was, yeah, let's stop it. And then
Right.
pretended to. And that's something that when a fighter tells you, you listen. Because
Yeah,
Gabe
yeah.
Rosado
Been there, done that,
been there,
seen
done
everything.
that,
Yeah.
seen everything in Philly gyms and LA gyms.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's where a fighter like that is now an analyst brings something to the table.
Sure.
Nathan Rodriguez is skilled, B, but you got to get a guy like that out of there, which he did, but only on paper. This guy wasn't going nowhere.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was going to go the distance, most likely.
Okay.
Fernando Vargas Jr., 16 and 0, 14 KOs versus Gonzalo Coria, 23 and 7, 9 KOs. This is a junior middle, and he just beat an undefeated prospect, Coria. And he fought I think Jaime Munguia before and another really good guy, another real guy, Gonzalo Coria. Definitely fought a couple guys at 54, and he can handle himself in there. B, he comes out, lands a big right hook and a big left hand in the first. This is Coria on Vargas, right?
Uh-huh.
35 veteran Southpaw. Of the three Vargas sons, I think Junior has the least natural ability that jumps out at me. So I critique him the way I'm not looking at him the way we're a little bit tough on Emiliano.
Hmm.
Remember, I said, he's doing well, and you're going, yeah, but look at who he's fighting. About Emiliano a couple
Yeah,
of weeks
yeah.
ago. Correa landed a few more clean shots in the second as well. Again, B, only 9 KOs in 30 fights.
Uh-huh.
So, look, Vargas' defense is leaky. And if Correa could crack, this could have been catastrophic from what I see. In the fourth, Vargas wobbled Correa with a right hook, then threw a straight left hand that completely flattened him. I'm talking top 10, of the
Yeah.
year type shots. I mean, this like the Johnny Fisher KO. It
Right,
was
right, right.
that it was that brutal. Correa somehow beats the count, but Raul Cais, he's been around forever, waved it off. Uh, I didn't realize how big. I see him less. This is why. How big of a personality Fernando Jr. has. It's bigger than Emiliano. Just really gregarious and
Yeah, yeah.
booming, bombastic personality. He called out Xander Zayas in the post-fight interview. When you flatten someone like that with a straight left hand from the southpaw stance, it's highlight reel. Your name is there. I didn't even know his nickname was El Feroz
It's El
too. I
Photos
didn't
too,
know
yeah.
that. Right. Um,
He's 28.
he's 28 years old.
Hmm.
Okay. I thought he was a bit younger. So either
No,
they think,
Amato is 24. That's the
yeah,
middle
he's the
brother.
one with the crazy his hairdo is diabolical. His hairdo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course they were all there, the whole Vargas family. I don't know what you do, B, if he's 28 and now is 17 and 0 with 15 knockouts. Are they just going to be like what a Johnny Fisher is over there? Can they do 7,500 with an all Vargas fight card out there? I would say yeah.
Yeah. An all Vargas fight card? Yeah.
Yeah.
They all fought on, yeah.
Yeah. Can like I said, I
I think the
reiterate,
problem with doing stuff like that is they get distracted if one loses.
absolutely.
Or
Absolutely. I'm
one's in
just
there
throwing
tough. Yeah.
things out there. If we think none of them, there's three that are fighting right now, that none of them are elite, then what do you do? Things like that.
Yeah.
That's how you answer it. How do you do it? You do it the way they did Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen. Are these guys worldwide known? Are they elite?
No,
The answers to
but they're going
all
to put
these things are
entertaining
no.
fights.
Entertaining fights and pack it out. Okay, then that's how you have to do this.
Yeah.
Some people go, Some people somehow become Arturo Gotti's, where you go, I'm just in such good fights that I'm a superstar, having never been on anyone's pound for pound. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I won belts in a couple divisions, but I was never considered up here. But can we do
Yeah.
that? I don't know what's going to happen with Emiliano, but how this card is slipping through our fingers with two guys
No one else reported on it either. It's
that
weird.
both go to, yeah, Saturday. Also, UFC Fight Pass, Commerce Casino, LA. Omar Trinidad versus Alexander Espinoza, featherweights. I did not watch this other than clips on
Yeah, I
Twitter
watch
because
clips.
I'm now getting the UFC Fight Pass unless this Dana White just makes fights often, so
Yeah,
often that you and I have to get it.
right.
He moves to 19-0. Look, I just saw clips. He's 29 years old at 19-0.
Yes,
It's time to shit or get off the pot with this kid.
sure.
That said, 126 is stacked. Nick
Yes.
Ball, a guy we call the cheat code, and Rafael Espinosa, who just
Espinoza,
fought.
yeah, he's the best one.
Yes, cool boy Steph, who's saying he's going up to 30. I don't like that, but he's saying it.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing. I don't like that. Angelo Leo, who's about to fight this weekend, Luis Alberto Lopez, Figueroa, he's still kind of out there, maybe, or maybe not. Shushu, Tomaki Kameda, Robesi Ramirez, is he done? I don't know. Mirko Cuello, you got to put him in with a guy like this at this
yeah.
point. It's not a division where you can fight lower tier guys anymore that people don't know. If you're 26, you got to fight each other if you want to do anything. Sergey Bochachuk versus Mykel Fox. I said Mykel Fox could give him problems. You
He
told me
did.
no fucking way. He gets packed up. The main event didn't start until close to 2 a.m. So I'm sure we wouldn't be listening to be, I'm sure we would be listening to be complain about this had he paid for this. That's all we would be hearing, guys, this whole episode.
2
I'm
a.m. is a
trying
little.
to fucking mom. So it doesn't start till close to 2 a.m. Look, the clips
That's
I watched, it looked tactical, a bit boring. Fox looked good and was landing that straight left hand.
it
So,
knocked him down. They
yeah,
didn't score it.
I watched it a bunch of times. It's super goofy. It's less than the force of a jab, and he did go down.
Yeah, he went down from punch.
By every measure, it should have been ruled a knockdown.
Sure.
I'm not as up in arms as others are but it should be ruled one when he landed
Sure.
something and the guy went down. Bochachuk is just really good. It was a UD for Bochachuk.
Yeah.
Judges had it 97, 93, 98, 92, 97, 93. Hopefully, B, you are right. And this was a stay busy fight for him. And we will see him back in the fall with a title fight. I'd like to see a Virgil Ortiz rematch. I
Me
don't
too.
think the people with Ortiz want that. I thought he won. He knocked him down, and I thought he
Yeah.
won. A fight with Israel Madrimov would be incredible.
That's what we heard is being floated, right?
Yes. Bakram Murtalazayev has that IBF title. He's a gun along with Janabek, B. It isn't Clegus, another guy from over there, manages Janabek and Murtalazayev and came out being like, their promoters aren't doing their job. Like, do
Mm,
not put this, that you're not seeing them
right.
or you're not seeing them against, don't put that on us. We're ready now. Their promoters got to get to this. So I'm glad he came out and said that. And I'm glad he came out before this show because Bakro Murtalazayev upsets a star of boxing, not a crossover star.
Yeah,
Tim
Tim
Tszyu is a
Zoo.
star in boxing, guys. And he's an absolute definite star in Australia.
Sure.
But he's a star. Bakra Mutalazayev packs him up over a year ago. We haven't heard a fucking peep.
No.
Nothing. Not a stay busy fight, nothing. He's out there. He has a title. Fundora and Tim Tszyu, they're about to fight, right?
Yeah.
Erickson Lubin just won. Jesus
Yeah,
Ramos,
nothing since October when he knocked him out.
right? Jorge Garcia Perez, who just beat Charles Conwell. Hey, Charles Conwell's still out there.
Right.
Any of these fights be with Sergey Bochachuk is guaranteed action, in my opinion. The guys
Sure.
I just named, the names I reeled off, I can't see any of them being bad, even though Fundora and Tszyu are caught up with each other soon. You know what I mean? But those
Yeah,
other names, Lubin just had a fight, and so did Bocha.
yeah. Hmm.
So in the
Yeah.
fall, Jesus Ramos, Jorge Garcia Perez, who just beat Charles Conwell, and Charles Conwell. What about that in the fall? Any of those guys, that's a banger. And Madramov's a goon, bro. Those two should be fighting. And like
I
B
don't
said,
think Madrimov. It's he lost two in a row. I think that
yeah, he needs a gimme. I think.
sure he's got to build his record back up.
I think we make Virgil Ortiz rematch or Bakra Mortalazayev, which it would be for a title.
I'll take either one.
Was that a title fight? Does Virgil Ortiz now have a strap because they fought each other? Look, I thought he won, and this win, and as Virgil Ortiz fought since then, Brendan.
Yes, he fought Madrimov.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right. Okay, sorry, guys. All right,
that was for an interim world. Yeah,
guys. Look, the best fighter that fought this weekend was Sergey Bochachuk. George Lidard had the most impressive win of the weekend for me. The Dave Allen upset, being I don't think highly of either one of those guys. It was just fun as shit.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And I think Dave Allen should be rewarded with that. And Eddie said it. We'll take something home
yeah.
to
I think,
Sheffield. But I think a Moses Itamo fight is a good gift if it's a payday.
yeah,
If you're going to get a big bag to fight in Sheffield and an okay bag to fight Itamo, who these guys think is of 86 Mike Tyson, if you talk to a guy in the UK, then
right.
no. Then don't do it.
Not Adrian. AJ came out. Anthony Joshua came out and said he's real happy for Dave
He
Allen.
said something really nice about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah,
did. He
yeah.
did. That was cool of him to do that.
All right.
All right, guys, we're out of here for this week.
Yep. And
Not this week,
yeah,
this episode. You'll
this
see this
episode.
again later this week. You'll
Yeah.
get another episode. B, let them know where they can find you.
At the Killer B24 on Twitter, at I_no_that_kid on IG. Find us at KOT Big Boxing on IG, at KOTB Podcast on YouTube, and write us at KOTBboxing@gmail.com.
We're posting full episodes, correct, B? Now,
Mhm.
like officially,
Yeah.
just full episodes on YouTube.
Full
So,
episodes on YouTube, and then of
because
course you
some
can
of you
find
guys
us,
said, yeah,
yeah.
you can see our ugly mugs and you can let it run in the back at work or whatever. I'm at Box Cutter Pazzi on IG, at Vinny_Paz on X or Twitter. I don't think I can ever. I'm trying to do the X thing and I
Yeah, I
can't
call
do
it
it, B.
Twitter X.
Yeah, all right. I'll bite that. No puff. My new record is out. It's called God Sent Vengeance. It's available on all streaming platforms. If you're a physical copy, like I am and B used to be before children, they'd be breaking the records over his head and throwing them like frisbees at his forehead. Vinyl, tape, CDs, knock them out the box, shirts, hoodies,
Go get
sweatshirts,
that.
all of that. Go cop at jmtstore.com. That is it. Say goodnight, Brendan.
Good night, Brendan.
Knock 'em out the box.